Hello, my friend, and welcome back to our English learning channel. Today we are going to talk about something that may seem small, but it is actually very powerful. We are going to learn about small talk in English. Now, many English learners believe that small talk is not important. They think it is just a waste of time. Or maybe they believe it is too simple to matter. But let me tell you the truth. Small talk is the secret to speaking English naturally. It is the way people connect with each other in real life. It is how you make friends, how you build confidence in new situations, and how you practice English in a way that feels easy and natural. If you want to speak English confidently, if you want to improve your English fast, and if you want to feel comfortable in conversations, then small talk is exactly what you need to learn. Small talk may look simple, but it is your key to English fluency. By practicing it, you will get daily opportunities to speak, to listen, and to connect. So today, in this video, I will guide you step by step. Together, we will explore real-life examples, practice dialogues, and try short challenges. By the end, you will not only understand small talk, you will be able to use it with confidence. So, what exactly is small talk? Small talk means short, friendly conversation. It is not about big, serious topics. It is not about deep philosophy or complex discussions. Small talk is about simple questions, little comments, and easy answers. For example, when someone says, "How are you?" and you reply, "I'm good, thanks. How about you?" That is small talk. When someone looks outside and says, "Beautiful weather today, isn't it?" and the other person smiles and replies, "Yes, it's so sunny." That is small talk too. These conversations may look small, but they are the starting point of connection. Small talk makes people feel comfortable. It opens the door to bigger conversations, and it gives you valuable practice every single day. Maybe you are thinking, "But I don't know what to say," or "I don't want to sound boring." That's okay. The good news is, small talk is not about being clever or saying something amazing. It is about being friendly, relaxed, and natural. And I will give you the exact sentences and dialogues you can use right now. The first step in small talk is always the greeting. A greeting is like magic. It breaks the ice, it shows that you are friendly, and it makes the other person feel more relaxed. For example, imagine this little conversation. One person says, "Hi, how are you?" and the other replies, "I'm good, thanks. How about you?" Then the first person answers, "Not bad, just a little tired." That's it. That's already a full small talk exchange. It's simple, short, and natural. Here's another one. One person says, "Hello, nice to see you," And the other answers, "Nice to see you too. How have you been?" Then the reply comes, "I've been busy, but good." Again, you can see it is very easy, but it feels natural and warm. Now here's your first little challenge. I want you to pause this video and say out loud, "Hi, how are you?" Then answer yourself, "I'm good, thanks. How about you?" Do this 3 times. I know it may feel funny to talk to yourself, but this is real practice. Don't just listen. Speak. This is how you will improve your English fast. Now let's talk about the topics of small talk. In English, there are a few very common topics that people use again and again. These topics are safe, easy, and always useful. The first one is the weather. People everywhere love to talk about the weather because it is always around us. You can say, "It's really hot today," or "Wow, it's so cold this morning." The other person will usually agree and continue with something like, "Yes, I know. I had to wear 2 jackets." That is simple, natural small talk. Another common topic is daily life. You can ask someone, "How was your weekend?" And they might reply, "It was good. I went shopping." You could also say, "Are you busy today?" And they may answer, "Yes, I have a lot of work." These are small sentences, but they build connection. They show interest, and they make people feel comfortable. Small talk can also be about current events or things happening right now in the world around you. For example, you might ask, "Did you watch the football game last night?" And the other person replies, "Yes, it was exciting." Or maybe you say, "Have you heard about the new cafe in town?" And they reply, "No, tell me more." These are short conversations, but they feel natural and friendly. Let's put this together into a real dialogue. Imagine you meet a classmate or a coworker. You smile and say, "Hi, how are you?" They answer, "I'm fine, thanks. How about you?" You reply, "I'm good. Hey, it's so hot today." The other person says, "I know. I wish I had some ice cream." You laugh and answer, "Me too. So how was your weekend?" They say, "It was fun. I went to the park." And you reply, "Nice. I just stayed home and watched movies." That's a full small talk conversation. Did you notice how easy it was? No difficult grammar, no long sentences, just simple, friendly exchanges. Now, let's talk about why small talk is so powerful for your English. The truth is, small talk is not about sharing big information. It is about connection. When you use small talk, you practice speaking without pressure. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need advanced vocabulary. You only need short, friendly sentences. The more you practice small talk, the more confident you feel, and the more confident you feel, the faster your English fluency grows. So here is your challenge for today. After this video, try to make small talk with at least one person. It could be a classmate, a coworker, or even a stranger in the supermarket. You don't need a long conversation. Just say, "Hi, how are you?" or "Nice weather today." See what happens. Don't worry if you make mistakes. Small talk is not about perfection, it is about connection, and every attempt is valuable practice. Here is one more quick tip. When you practice small talk, speak slowly and clearly. Many English learners feel nervous and try to speak too fast, but this can make it harder to sound confident. If you speak a little slower and a little clearer, people will understand you better, and you will feel more relaxed. Remember, smile, greet, and speak slowly. That is the formula for confident small talk. Part 2. Welcome back, my friend. In Part 1, you learned the basics of small talk. We looked at greetings, easy topics like weather and daily life, and you practiced a short dialogue with me. You now know that small talk is not about being clever or perfect. It's about being friendly and natural. But now, let's go a little deeper. In this second part, you are going to learn more natural phrases, real-life dialogues, and tricks to keep the conversation going. You will see how small talk is not just about starting a conversation, but also about continuing it. This is the key to speaking English confidently. Let's start with a simple truth. Many English learners feel comfortable saying hello, but then they don't know what to say next. They start to panic and think, "Oh no, what now?" And that's when the conversation feels awkward. Don't worry, you are not alone. Many learners face this problem. The good news is that there are easy, natural phrases that help you keep talking. Once you know these phrases, you will never feel stuck again. For example, let's take the simple question, "How are you?" Usually people answer with "I'm fine" or "I'm good." That is okay, but if you stop there, the conversation dies quickly. Instead, you can add a little detail. You could say, "I'm good, thanks, I just finished my homework." Or, "I'm fine, I had a busy morning." Adding one extra detail gives the other person something to talk about. If you say, "I had a busy morning," the other person might ask, "Oh, what did you do?" And now the conversation continues. Here's another example. Someone asks you, "How was your weekend?" You could just say, "It was good." That's fine, but it's too short. Instead, add a detail. "It was good. I went shopping with my family." Or, "It was nice. I watched a movie at home." Notice how adding one more piece of information opens the door for the other person to respond. They might say, "Oh, really? Which movie did you watch?" Or, "That sounds fun. Where did you go shopping?" Small details make big differences. Now let's practice this together. I'll ask you a question, and I want you to pause the video and answer with a little detail. Ready? How are you today? Don't just say, I'm fine. Try, I'm fine. I had some tea before watching this video. Or, I'm good. I just came back from school. Did you try? Good. This is how you build fluency, by practicing out loud with real situations. Another trick to continue small talk is to ask back. This means when someone asks you a question, you answer, and then you ask them the same question. For example, if someone says, "How was your weekend?" you answer, "It was good. I went to the park. How about you?" That little phrase, "How about you?" is magic. It shows interest. It keeps the conversation going, and it makes the other person feel good. Let's listen to a short dialogue using this. One person says, "Hey, how was your weekend?" The other replies, "It was fun. I went to the park. How about you?" The first person answers, "Oh, I stayed home and read a book." See how natural that sounds? It's very simple, but it feels like a real conversation. Here's a challenge for you. Next time you are practicing small talk, try to always add one little detail and then ask back. Just remember this formula: answer plus detail plus ask back. Let's say the question is, "How are you?" You could say, "I'm fine. I had lunch already. How about you?" That's a full small talk move. Now, let's talk about another important part of small talk: showing interest. When someone is speaking to you, it's not enough to just answer and stop. You can also use small phrases to show you are listening. In English, we call these back-channel phrases. They are short expressions like, "Really? That's nice. Oh, wow. I see." Or, "That's interesting." These little words make the other person feel heard, and they keep the conversation alive. Listen to this example. One person says, "I went shopping yesterday." The other replies, "Oh, really? What did you buy?" The first person answers, "I bought some new shoes." The other says, "That's nice. What color are they?" See how those little words, "Oh, really?" and "That's nice," made the conversation sound friendly? Without them, the dialogue would feel flat. Here's a short practice for you. Repeat after me. "Really? That's nice. Oh, wow. I see. That's interesting." Try to say them with energy, not like a robot. Imagine you are truly listening to your friend. Great! Now you can use these in your next conversation. Sometimes small talk can also include questions about daily activities. These are very safe, very common, and very useful. You can ask, "Are you busy today?" Or, "What are you working on?" Or, "Did you sleep well last night?" These questions are easy to answer, and they make the other person feel that you care. And remember, always add a detail in your answer. For example, If someone says, "Did you sleep well?" instead of just saying yes, you can say, "Yes, I slept well, but I stayed up late watching a show." That detail makes it interesting. Here's another real-life dialogue for you. A says, "Hi, how are you?" B replies, "I'm good, thanks. I just had lunch. How about you?" A says, "I'm fine. I'm a little tired, though." B replies, "Oh, really? Did you sleep late?" A says, "Yes, I was watching a movie." B responds, "That's interesting. What movie was it?" Can you see how this simple small talk flows naturally? It started with, "How are you?" And now the two people are talking about movies. That's the magic of small talk. Now let me give you a tip to sound more natural in small talk. Don't just answer questions. Sometimes you can ask simple follow-up questions. If someone says, "I went shopping," you can ask, "Where did you go?" If they say, "I watched a movie," you can ask, "Which one?" If they say, "I had a busy day," you can ask, "What did you do?" These little follow-up questions show that you are curious, and they make the conversation longer and friendlier. So let's practice again. Imagine I say, "I had pizza yesterday." What question can you ask me? Maybe you can ask, "Oh, really? Where did you eat it?" Or, "What kind of pizza?" That's how you keep small talk alive. All right, my friend, let's review what you learned in this second part. You discovered that to continue small talk, you should add details to your answers, ask back to keep the conversation flowing, and use small expressions like "really" or "that's nice" to show interest. You also practiced asking follow-up questions to make the conversation longer and more fun. All of these little tricks will help you speak English confidently and improve your fluency faster than just memorizing grammar rules. Part 3. Welcome back, my friend. You are doing so well. In part 1, we talked about what small talk is and why it is important. You learned greetings, common topics like weather and daily life, and you practiced your first short dialogue. In part 2, you discovered how to keep small talk alive by adding details, asking back, and showing interest with natural little phrases. You also learned how to ask follow-up questions to make the conversation flow. Now, in part 3, we are going to take everything you learned and use it in real-life situations, because small talk is not only for practice, it is something you can use at work, at school, at social events, or even with strangers in daily life. Let's dive in together. Imagine you are at work or in an office. Small talk here is very common and very important. People often use small talk before meetings, during breaks, or even when passing in the hallway. It creates a friendly atmosphere and helps coworkers connect. For example, you might meet a colleague in the morning and say, "Good morning, how was your commute today?" They might reply, "It was okay, just a little traffic." You could then add, "Yeah, the roads are always busy at this time." Simple, right? Another example at work could be, "Did you have a good weekend?" And the answer might be, "Yes, I went out with some friends." You can reply, "That sounds fun. Where did you go?" With just a few sentences, you are making your workplace feel warmer and friendlier. Now let's think about school or university. Small talk here is very useful for building friendships. Imagine you see a classmate before class starts. You could say, "Hi, did you finish the homework?" They might laugh and reply, "Yes, but it was difficult." You could respond, "I agree, I stayed up late to finish it." This short conversation makes you both feel connected. Or, during a break, you could say, "That lecture was interesting, wasn't it?" And your classmate might answer, "Yes, I learned a lot." From there, you could ask, "What part did you like the most?" This is simple, natural, and it helps you practice English while making friends. Another situation is at a social event, like a party or a gathering. Here, small talk is your best tool. People don't usually start with deep conversations at parties. Instead, they begin with simple small talk. For example, you could walk up to someone and say, "Hi, I don't think we've met before. I'm Anna." The other person might reply, "Nice to meet you. I'm John." You can then continue with, "So, how do you know the host?" Or, "Have you tried the food? It's really good." These are very easy questions, but they open the door for more conversation. Parties are not about serious topics. They are about connection, and small talk makes that possible. Now let's think about strangers. Sometimes you might meet someone in an elevator, on a bus, or in a store. You may not have a long conversation, but even a few words of small talk can make the moment feel friendly. For example, on a rainy day, you could say, "Wow, it's really pouring outside." The stranger might smile and reply, "Yes, I got completely wet walking here." You could then laugh and answer, "Same here, I need an umbrella next time." That's it, a few sentences, but it feels warm. Or in a supermarket, you might say to someone, "These lines are so long today." They might respond, "Yes, everyone is shopping at the same time." You can then say, "I guess we picked the busiest hour." Short, simple, but natural. Now here's something very important. Small talk changes depending on the culture, but in English-speaking countries, it is a normal and friendly habit. In the workplace, it shows politeness. In school, it builds connection. At social events, it breaks the ice. With strangers, it makes the world feel less cold. For you as an English learner, every situation is also a chance to practice speaking. Remember, small talk is not only about words, it is about confidence. Let's practice a few dialogues together so you can really imagine yourself in these situations. Here's one at work. A. Morning, how are you? B. I'm good, thanks. Just had my coffee. How about you? A. I'm fine. Did you watch the game last night? B. Yes, it was exciting. A. I know, the ending was crazy. Here's one at school. A. Hi, ready for class? B. Not really, I forgot my notes. A. Oh no, do you want to look at mine? B. Thanks, that would help. And here's one at a social event. A. Hi, I don't think we've met. I'm Sarah. B. Nice to meet you, I'm Tom. A. So how do you know the birthday girl? B. We work together. A. That's great, she's such a fun person. As you can see, these are not difficult at all. They are short, easy, and friendly, but they make conversations natural. Now, let's do a quick challenge together. I'll give you a situation, and I want you to pause the video and try to say what you would say. Ready? Situation 1. You are at work on Monday morning and you see your colleague. What do you say? Pause and try it. Maybe you said, Hi, how was your weekend? Or, Good morning, did you do anything fun yesterday? Excellent. Situation 2. You are in class and you sit next to a new student. What do you say? Maybe you said, Hi, is this your first day? Or, Hello, what's your name? Great job. Situation 3. You are waiting in line at a coffee shop. You turn to the person behind you. What can you say? Maybe, it's busy today, isn't it? Or, I can't wait for my coffee. Perfect. This kind of practice prepares you for the real world. Here is another tip to make your small talk sound friendly. Use your voice and your body language. If you say, How are you? But your face looks bored and your voice is flat, it will not feel natural. But if you smile, look at the person, and say it with energy, it feels warm. English is not only about words, it's also about how you say them. A smile, a little laugh, a relaxed tone, all of these make your small talk better. All right, let's recap what you learned in this third part. You discovered how small talk is used in real-life situations. At work, at school, at social events, and with strangers. You listened to real dialogues and practiced challenges to imagine yourself speaking in those situations. You also learned that small talk is not just about the words, it's about your tone, your energy, and your confidence. Every situation is a chance to practice, connect, and improve your English fast. Now, in the final part of this video, part 4, we are going to put everything together. You will learn how to make your small talk more advanced, how to avoid common mistakes, and how to feel confident even when you don't know what to say. We will also do a big practice session where you and I will have a complete small talk conversation step by step. This will be your chance to feel like you are really speaking with me in English. So don't stop here, because part 4 is where you truly become confident in small talking in English. Part 4. Welcome back, my friend. You've done an amazing job coming this far. In part 1, you learned what small talk is and why it is important. In part 2, you discovered how to keep conversations alive with details, asking back and showing interest. In part 3, you practiced small talk in real-life situations, at work, at school, at social events, and even with strangers. And now, in part 4, we are going to put it all together. This is where you become truly confident in small talking in English. You are going to learn how to avoid mistakes, how to level up your small talk, and finally, you and I will practice a full small talk conversation together, step by step. Let's go. First, let's talk about some common mistakes English learners make in small talk. The first mistake is giving answers that are too short. For example, when someone says, "How are you?" you might just say, "Fine." That ends the conversation quickly. Instead, remember to add a little detail, like, "I'm fine, I just had lunch." That detail keeps the conversation moving. The second mistake is asking too many deep or personal questions too quickly. For example, if you just met someone and you ask, "How much money do you make?" or "Why aren't you married yet?" that will make the other person uncomfortable. Small talk is about light, easy topics, not private details. Stick to safe areas like the weather, weekend plans, hobbies, or daily life. The third mistake is worrying too much about grammar. Many learners think, "I must speak perfectly or people will laugh." But in small talk, people do not care about perfect grammar. They care about your smile, your friendliness, and your effort. If you say, "I go park yesterday," instead of "I went to the park yesterday," people will still understand you. Don't let grammar fears stop you from practicing. Now let's talk about leveling up your small talk. Once you are comfortable with greetings and short answers, you can make your small talk more interesting by sharing small stories. For example, instead of saying, "My weekend was good," you could say, "My weekend was good. I went to the park with my family and we had a picnic. It was relaxing." That's still simple English, but it sounds more alive. Or instead of saying, "I'm tired today," you could say, "I'm tired today because I stayed up late watching a funny movie." By adding these little stories, your small talk becomes memorable. Another way to level up is to show curiosity about the other person. Remember, small talk is not only about talking, it's about listening. If someone tells you, I had a busy weekend, you can reply, oh, what did you do? Or, busy with what? That shows you are interested, and people love when others listen to them. Listening is a powerful skill for English fluency. Here's a powerful phrase you can use to keep the conversation open. Tell me more about that. Imagine someone says, I went hiking yesterday. You can reply, really? Tell me more about that. This invites them to share, and it keeps the conversation flowing naturally. Try saying it with me now. Tell me more about that. Good. This phrase will make your small talk stronger instantly. Now it's time for the big practice. I want you to imagine that we are having a small talk conversation together. I will be person A, and you will be person B. I will say my lines, then I will pause so you can answer out loud. Don't just think in your head, actually say it. Are you ready? Let's begin. A. Hi, how are you today? Pause. You answer with a detail. For example, I'm fine, I just had coffee. A. Nice. I'm good too. Did you do anything fun yesterday? Pause. You answer, maybe, yes, I watched a movie, or I just stayed home and relaxed. A. Oh, really? That sounds nice. What movie did you watch? Pause. You answer. Try to add a little story. I watched a comedy. It was really funny. A. That's interesting. I love funny movies. So, do you have any plans for the weekend? Pause. You answer, maybe, yes, I'm going shopping with my friends. Or, not really, I just want to rest. A. Cool. That sounds like a good weekend. Well, it was nice talking to you. Pause. You reply with something like, nice talking to you too. Great job. Did you try speaking out loud? If you did, congratulations. You just had a complete small talk conversation in English. See how natural it felt? The sentences were simple, the questions were easy, but the conversation flowed like real life. Now let's do one more practice, but this time you will start. I will be person B, and you will be person A. That means you have to start the small talk. Ready? Pause. You start. Maybe you say, Hi, how are you? I reply, I'm good, thanks. How about you? Pause. You answer with a detail. I'm fine. I just finished class. I say, Oh, really? How was your class? Pause. You answer, maybe, it was interesting but a little difficult. I reply, I see. That's nice. So, what are you doing after this? Pause. You answer, I'm going home, or I'm meeting a friend. I say, sounds good. Well, have a great day. Pause. You answer, you too. Well done. Now you've practiced both sides of the conversation. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. Before we finish, let me give you one final tip. Small talk is about confidence, not perfection. Every time you practice small talk, you are training your brain to think in English. You are building fluency step by step. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Don't worry if your grammar is not perfect. Just keep talking. The secret is to practice a little every day. Even 2 or 3 sentences of small talk can make a big difference over time. So, my friend, you have now completed a full journey through the world of small talk in English. You learned how to start with greetings, how to use common topics, how to add details and ask back, how to show interest and ask follow-up questions, how to use small talk in different real-life situations, and finally, how to level up your small talk with little stories and curiosity. You practiced dialogues, you spoke out loud, and you built your confidence step by step. This is how you speak English confidently and improve English fast. Now your challenge is simple. Starting today, use small talk every chance you get. Say hello to your classmate. Ask your coworker about their weekend. Talk about the weather with a stranger, or share a short story with a friend. The more you practice, the faster your fluency grows. Small talk is not small, it's powerful. It's your daily practice, your connection to people, and your path to English fluency. Thank you so much for learning with me today. I'm so proud of you for finishing this long lesson. Remember, English is not just a subject you study. It's a skill you live. Every smile, every "Hi, how are you?" every little conversation is a step closer to fluency. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep speaking English with confidence. I will see you in the next lesson. Until then, take care and happy small talking in English.